Hi, everyone. We meet again. I hope everyone had a wonderful week so far. I know we met each other last Friday to talk a little bit about the UC schools via the presentation that I gave to everyone. Thank you again for taking the time to actually spend an hour of your Friday going over a little bit about the UC schools as well. They're very exciting. And today we'll mostly focus on the UC campuses. Though the focal point of today is actually to go over some of the virtual tours. So virtual tours are actually not that exciting, not as exciting as in-person tours. So nonetheless, even though we go over a little bit about the virtual tours today, I would still highly recommend, if you can, is to schedule in-person tours. And I'm gonna show you a little bit of how you can do that as well. FYI, when you're joining in, you might have to go ahead and mute yourself in case you don't want anyone to hear you talking. Before we go ahead and start, I just totally realized I forgot to introduce myself. My name is May. I'm the assistant director of SoCal Counseling at HS2 Academy. You could just call me May. Okay. Without further ado, let's actually go ahead and get started on the virtual tour. Once again, like I mentioned, virtual tour is not exactly the most exciting thing to sit through. And you will be able to get a lot of information just because when you're sitting on your desk and you're just listening to someone talk, I don't think you would be able to get a lot of information today. So I'm going to do something special today. I'm going to allocate about 20 to 30 minutes of today's hour dedicate to answering any questions that you guys may have. In last Friday, I sort of went over time with my presentation. So with that being said, and we didn't have too much time to answer questions from students or even from parents. Today, I'm going to allocate a little bit more time to answering your questions. So you can go ahead and send any of your questions to me via chat right now if you like, okay? Okay, awesome. So typically how virtual tours are done, there are different types of tours that you can consider. One is in person. So when you talk about in-person tours, you typically would schedule them with the campus, okay? Regardless of whether there's the UC or whether it's a private school, the procedure itself is not that different between a UC or a private school. You typically would call the university, or you could just easily search that university's name and campus tours, okay? So for example, here we are at UC Berkeley. Okay, so at UC Berkeley, you just really, once again, easily Google UC Berkeley campus tours, and you'll be able to pull up the information on Google, okay? So UC Berkeley right now has in-person campus walking tours, okay? So registration is required, so no walk-in is allowed. You are required to register for in-campus, in-person walking tour, okay? There are also walking tours for individuals and for families. So it could be like a group of different individuals belong in the same group, or it could be a lot of different groups doing a whole bigger group tour, okay? Okay, they're booking tours through January 22nd, so through July of this year, okay? So don't wait any longer if you have time in the summer, so make sure to actually book that tour. Okay, likewise, let's say, for example, UCLA is the #1 most applied to school in the whole nation, right? So if you are interested in actually taking a tour at UCLA, you can schedule an online tour, you can schedule on campus tour, in-person group tour, or even do a different language tour in Spanish, okay? So there's a lot of different varieties. So I'm only showing you 2 examples today, which is Berkeley and LA, since they're the 2 more popular schools. But if you were to look into the other UC, once again, you will see similar information, okay? Today for the virtual tour, we'll mainly just do Berkeley and LA, just because, once again, if you've seen it through it once, it's gonna be very likely the same thing for other schools as well. Virtual tours, once again, is not as beneficial as in-person tour. When you do a virtual tour, the website I do recommend for you is UVisit. UVisit.com is amazing in terms of the fact that they're able to provide you a previously recorded tour at that university. So if you're not able to go in person and that university does not offer you a live virtual tour, then your only option is a previously recorded tour of the school, okay? So first, we'll go ahead and start with UC Berkeley.
Hi, and welcome to UCLA. Our campus is located here in Westwood, where we are minutes from the Pacific Ocean. Founded in 1919, UCLA was developed as part of the University of California system. Almost 100 years later, we are one of the top public research universities in the world, as well as the most applied to school in the nation. Follow me as we explore and learn more about UCLA. Before we explore our beautiful campus, let me explain all the ways you can use this tour. You can click on the front-facing arrow to start walking around our campus. With its impressive towers and soaring arches, Royce Hall is UCLA's most iconic building. Every year, thousands of visitors come here to enjoy concerts, dance, and theater. The magnificent concert hall has hosted both classical and contemporary artists, the New York Philharmonic, cellist Yo-Yo Ma, the Royal Shakespeare Company, and Coldplay, just to name a few. World-famous speakers have also taken the stage, from Albert Einstein to President Bill Clinton. UCLA students get discounts on most tickets. Some events are actually free. Royce Hall is also home to many language and literature departments, so you might take classes here too. Powell Library is one of the original campus buildings, and it has been restored to its 1929 glory. The main reading room, with its tall windows and ornamented central dome, is like a movie set designed to capture the quintessential college study atmosphere, except that it's perfectly real. It's a great place to work on a research paper or prepare for a test because the reading room is quiet and resources are at hand. Events like the Edible Book Festival and salsa dancing in the Rotunda bring this library to life. This is the Charles E. Young Research Library. If you major in social sciences or humanities, you'll use the new Research Commons here, with its functional group study pods, smartboards, and audiovisual capture devices. One of our professors led a project to map Berlin from the 13th century to the present. And a team of digital humanities students created a map of an ancient Egyptian cemetery as a research project. That's just one example of our innovative academic programs. The UCLA library system has 10 locations with more than 11 million print and electronic volumes. That's one reason it's ranked in the top 10 nationally.
So actually for even UCLA, I guess they don't have a complete pre-recording.
The Jan Steps are another campus icon. From the top, you see a picturesque view of our campus, looking across the athletic fields to the undergraduate residential halls and the neighboring communities of Bel Air and Beverly Hills. Only a 10-minute walk from the residence halls, Jan Steps are part of campus history. They've appeared in films and hosted graduation ceremonies and victory celebrations. The base of Jan's Steps was once a popular spot for public speeches. The Reverend Martin Luther King Jr. spoke to an audience of 4,500 students, faculty, and staff here in 1965 and stated that if democracy is to live, segregation must die. This is Wilson Plaza, one of the many open spaces that make our campus so inviting. About a third of the compact UCLA campus is green space. Courtyards, plazas, gardens, and recreation areas let students enjoy the outdoors. Often, Wilson Plaza is full of activity, a resource fair, a dance troupe rehearsal, or a ROTC drill. Every fall, there's an enormous bonfire here before the UCLA-USC football game. On the hillside just above the plaza, students come to sit and relax on the grass or study between classes. Just off Wilson Plaza is the UCLA Anderson School of Management, where business economics majors take classes from leading management professors.
So just a quick note on here, I was an econ major at UCLA, and thus I typically would take a lot of econ classes and a little bit of business classes as well, because that's part of the courses that are required to graduate with an econ major. And typically they would fall within like the right side of this picture is where you typically would take those classes. Okay, so what we just went over, just because I'm a little bit more familiar with this building, I come to this building a lot. Once again, it's a building that we would also spend a lot of time in for business and econ major. So in UCLA, you will have a econ or a business economics major. So pretty exciting.
This is the Student Activities Center with an array of support services for Bruins. The Community Programs Office is home to the nation's first student-initiated outreach and retention centers. UCLA wants all of our outstanding students, regardless of background, to feel welcome and find academic success here. Those aims are shared by the Bruin Resource Center, which supports veterans, transfer students, former foster youth, and students who are parents. You'll also find the LGBT Resource Center here, where lesbian, gay, bisexual, and transgender students find services and resources. UCLA is committed to diversity, with programs and services that actively promote an environment where all Bruins feel included and respected. The Court of Sciences is designed for collaboration. Clustered around the edges are the homes of physical sciences and mathematics, life sciences and psychology, engineering and health sciences. In the center is the Court of Sciences Student Center. You can find meals and snacks here, but it's more than a place to eat. It's a place to spend time with other students, studying and working together. Megan MacArthur, one of 7 UCLA astronauts to venture into space, still talks about how much she learned as part of the student team competing in the human-powered submarine races. At a research university, learning happens everywhere, both inside and outside the classroom.
One of the hospital at UCLA, they're really well known for the medical hospitals. If you ever do a master's or PhD at UCLA, in terms of the medical field, I would definitely recommend UCLA for sure. Their medical schools or even the hospitals, I think, are ranked always like top 10 in the whole nation. This one, you don't need a lot of explanation, but UCLA is centered in Westwood. And Westwood is actually a very nice city with a lot of pop and mom stores and a lot of actually chain stores as well. You will always see a Starbucks around the corner because what college kids wouldn't need Starbucks when it comes to midterms and finals, okay? So this is a little bit of the UCLA, but UCLA is honestly, if you live in Los Angeles or even in OC County or even a little bit down into SC County also as well, it really doesn't hurt to really make the drive to UCLA and do an in-person tour. UCLA is a very beautiful campus. I always say that UCLA is shaped like a bowl. And why I say it's shaped like a bowl is because the dorms are located on the very top of one hill. And then you will go down the hill and then you will walk up another hill in order to go to your classes. And thus is why it's shaped like a bowl. The lucky thing is that the gym is located on the very bottom of that bowl. So it's a perfect time for you to really pop into the gym and then, exercise and, exercise off your freshman 15, right? Once you get into college. Okay, let's actually go ahead and do UC Berkeley.
Welcome to UC Berkeley. Our campus is the flagship for the University of California system and the preeminent public university in the world. We strive to make the world a better place through teaching, learning, discovery, and public service. Berkeley is home to 14 colleges and schools, offering more than 350 degree programs and enrolling more than 30,000 undergraduates. Here on our beautiful campus, there's something for everyone. More than 1,000 student groups, Division I athletics, and a multitude of opportunities for volunteering, community, and civic engagement. You'll have the chance to learn from Nobel laureates and experience what makes UC Berkeley unique and exciting for its diverse community, whose members come from every corner of the world. So please explore the campus, take a peek into our labs, classrooms, and living spaces. We hope that you find something that personally connects you to Berkeley, and we hope to see you soon.
One quick note to make is that the mascot is right here.
California Memorial Stadium, built in 1923 and renovated in 2012, seats approximately 55,000 people and is dedicated to Berkeley students who lost their lives in World War I. Cal fans pack the stadium every fall to cheer on the California Golden Bears football team. Memorial Stadium is the first collegiate stadium in the United States to incorporate academics into its facility. It is home to the Haas School of Business Innovation Lab and the College of Engineering Sutarja Center for Entrepreneurship and Technology. It is also home to the Corrette Visitor Center, where all of our campus walking tours begin. Enjoy your tour of our beautiful campus, founded in 1868. Before we get started, let me explain the many ways you can explore our beautiful space. You can click on the forward-facing arrow to start walking. The Haas School of Business has its own beautiful campus on the eastern edge of the university. It offers several programs, including an undergraduate Bachelor of Science, multiple MBA programs, a Master's of Financial Engineering, and a PhD program. The undergraduate degree is highly selective and highly ranked. Freshmen are normally accepted into the College of Letters and Science and then apply during their sophomore year to the business school after completing a set number of prerequisite courses. Shoe Hall is the greenest academic building in the nation and the first certified zero-waste academic building in the world. There are a total of 2,200 graduate and undergraduate students that study at Haas.
I'm standing in front of Sproul Hall, our main administration building. There are many resources at Berkeley specifically curated to support our Golden Bears in their quest for community and academic success. As a student leader, I spend a lot of time in the Lead Center, which is a hub for student involvement and leadership development. At Berkeley, we have a long storied history of over 150 years that gives us many traditions, rallies, and fun rituals. Maybe you've seen Berkeley's famous card stunts, performed by student spectators at football games, a tradition that originated here in 1910. Or maybe you've seen one of our spirited rallies here on Mario Savio steps, starring Oski, the Cal Marching Band, and our Cal Dance and Cheer teams. As a member of the UC Rally Committee, that's what I help put on, as well as protecting, preserving, and showcasing our many other traditions. It's where I found my home on campus. We have over 1,200 student organizations where you can join to find your community on campus.
The Martin Luther King Jr. Student Union serves as a home base for students. On its own, it houses the Multicultural Community Center, the Basic Needs Center, eateries, the student store, study locations, and more. The building joins several other buildings to form Lower Sproul Plaza. In Eshelman Hall lies the Chambers for the Associated Students of the University of California, our student governing body. The Cesar Chavez Student Center houses numerous resources, including the Student Learning Center for Tutoring and Academic Support, the Transfer Student Center, Re-Entry Student Program, Disabled Students Program, and other resources for marginalized communities and students seeking academic and professional support.
Berkeley's association with student activism is a proud part of our school history. From the well-known free speech movement and the Berkeley protests of the 1960s, that same progressive spirit persists on campus to this day. And you'll frequently see it in action here. Sproul Plaza is a hub of student activity, and Sproul Hall has been the focal point of some of the most important protests and sometimes a platform for the famous speeches given on campus, including Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Today, it's home to admissions, financial aid, and other student services. Sproul Hall, Sproul Plaza, and Sather Gate, the original entrance to campus, are all cemented in campus and progressive history as iconic landmarks.
The Hearst Memorial Mining Building was donated by Phoebe Apperson Hearst in 1907 and once housed the College of Mining, one of the university's original colleges. A century-old, now inactive subterranean mine and tunnel system runs under the northeast section of campus. The Hearst Mining Building is one of 3 adjacent buildings to the Hearst Mining Circle, an area of campus that encompasses many of our STEM buildings. Stanley Hall houses 40 research laboratories and is the home of CITRUS, the Center for Information Technology Research in the Interest of Society. Evans Hall is home to mathematics, economics, logic, and statistics. This is the main auditorium in Wheeler Hall, seating over 700 students. It holds popular classes in data science, astronomy, and wealth and poverty with former Secretary of Labor, Robert Reich. The College of Letters and Science, known as LNS, is the largest undergraduate college at Berkeley with 3/4 of the undergraduate population, offering 80 different majors, including political science, economics, English, art, history, physics, math, psychology, and computer science. Students graduate with a strong interdisciplinary background, ensuring a vigorous intellectual curiosity after graduation. Many LNS classes are held here in Wheeler Hall, which houses our largest classroom space on campus. The College of Environmental Design is in the Bauer-Worcester Hall, constructed in the brutalist style of architecture. It includes the departments of architecture, city and regional planning, and landscape architecture and environmental planning. Notable graduates include San Francisco's Golden Gate Bridge architect Irving Morrow and Julia Morgan, who designed over 700 buildings in the state of California. Looking around, you can see 3 music buildings: Hertz Hall, Morrison Hall, and the Jean Hargrove Music Library. These buildings are dedicated to the study and practice of music. Students may pursue a music major or minor, or enjoy one of numerous extracurricular bands, orchestras, jazz groups, and choral organizations outside of the classroom. McLaughlin Hall was built in 1931 and houses the main offices of the College of Engineering. This college has 7 departments: bioengineering, civil and environmental engineering, electrical engineering and computer science, industrial engineering and operations research, materials sciences and engineering, mechanical engineering, and nuclear engineering. The college offers several specialized master's programs and partners with the Haas School of Business to provide the management, entrepreneurship, and technology program, in which students double major in business and an engineering discipline. Some notable alumni of the college include Steve Wozniak, co-founder of Apple, Julia Morgan, architect of the Hearst Castle, and Rube Goldberg, inventor of the Rube Goldberg machine. Mulford Hall, housing the Rouser College of Natural Resources Advising Office, is situated near the picturesque west entrance to campus. Its hallways are lined by varying global wood specimens, fitting decor for the university's environmentally focused college. Its 2,500 undergraduates graduate with Bachelor of Science degrees in 9 various major options. Neighboring Mulford Hall is the Li Ka-shing Center, a multidisciplinary center conducting research to prevent root causes of diseases like cancer, Alzheimer's, HIV, and tuberculosis. The eucalyptus grove is a few minutes' walk away and meanders around forks of Strawberry Creek, which runs beyond the grove and throughout campus. The grove contains some of the tallest eucalyptus trees in California. The College of Chemistry has existed since the beginnings of UC Berkeley. Originally housed in South Hall, our current oldest standing building, it now lives in Gilman Hall and the chemistry complex on the east side of campus. Dean Gilbert Lewis was a notable figure from this college and is known for the discovery of the covalent bond and for creating the Lewis dot structures for showing the bonds between atoms. Another professor, Glenn Seaborg, discovered 10 elements and the heavy actinide series. A total of 16 elements on the periodic table have been discovered at UC Berkeley. This college offers 3 undergraduate majors in chemistry, chemical engineering, and chemical biology. This lecture room in Pimentel Hall seats 550 people. Students enjoy dynamic lectures with its 3-part rotating stage, letting professors set up experiments before class when another is in session. Some lower division classes can have many students, but they benefit from several resources on campus that help large classes feel much more manageable. Students have one-on-one access to their professors through weekly office hours, and graduate student instructors, or GSIs, break down lecture material on a weekly basis in discussion sections. Students also have access to tutoring resources and academic support through the Student Learning Center, with a location on campus as well as staff in the residence halls.
Life at Berkeley doesn't stand still. With students from around the world in a vibrant urban setting, it's no wonder the campus community talks about a fear of missing out, because there's always something happening on campus. Daily activities, performances, and events are open to the campus community and the general public. If you're interested in a show, Cal Performances presents, commissions, and produces artistic performances from world-renowned musicians, dancers, and playwrights. You can join the fans in our iconic California Memorial Stadium on game day, or just take a stroll through the 34-acre botanical gardens. And with a rich history of campus traditions, an ever-expanding list of student organizations, and so many possibilities for athletics and recreation, there's always something to do. Coming to Berkeley isn't just about what you learn in the classroom. By engaging in the rich student life at Cal, you will learn new things about yourself and others that you may never have imagined. So take a look around and discover just how dynamic and interconnected life at Berkeley can be.
Doe Memorial Library features some of our most beautiful indoor designs on campus. The library was named after Charles Franklin Doe, a businessman of San Francisco in the 19th century, benefactor of the university and great lover of books. Inside its north entrance is the Morrison Library, meant for recreational reading and a quiet sanctuary from busy campus life. No electronic devices are allowed here. The first floor also houses the Brown Gallery, named for Bernice Lane Brown, wife of former California Governor Edmund Pat Brown. On the second floor, at the grand staircase, sits the North Reading Room, an expansive study space surrounded by volumes and topped with a classical arched ceiling. Sather Tower, also known as the Campanile, was constructed in 1915 and stands at 307 feet tall. It is the third tallest clock and bell tower in the world and holds 61 bells at the top. These bells form an instrument called a carillon, which trained students play every day. To the delight of many, a pair of peregrine falcons has decided to make the top of the Campanile their home, coming back year after year. The view from the observation deck situates Berkeley in the San Francisco Bay Area, home to technological innovation and progress. Across the bay lies San Francisco, a beautiful and dynamic city with plenty to do on the weekends.
At UC Berkeley, we address the biggest challenges of the day to create a better world. The university is home to more than 1,600 faculty, almost 43,000 undergraduate and graduate students, and offers over 350 degree programs. From data science to robotics to the origins of the universe, research at Berkeley crosses disciplines and catalyzes new ideas. The Berkeley library system is also first-rate. It includes 24 on-campus libraries holding 13 million volumes. Our libraries, exhibitions, and museums are a typical place for student research. All throughout California and abroad, Berkeley's undergraduate and graduate students can be found conducting research at our numerous field stations and research centers and working in the labs of our affiliated institutions. Graduate education at Berkeley is continually ranked among the best in the world. Graduate students at Berkeley represent 120 countries and 49 states. We are committed to making graduate education accessible to all. The UC Berkeley Graduate Division recently awarded $1.5 million to 9 university departments to advance equity and belonging. The commitment is one of the largest single financial investments towards diversity efforts made by any graduate division in the nation. We at Berkeley are committed to encouraging and supporting students of all backgrounds and fostering a welcoming climate where everyone can thrive.
In this quad, you'll see the Alumni House, Zellerbach Playhouse, and Haas Pavilion. The Alumni House is home to our Cal Alumni Association, one of the most active alumni organizations in the world with over 500,000 living alumni. UC Berkeley's strong alumni network helps provide students with valuable connections, and their generous support helps to fund the amazing work that goes on at the university. Zellerbach Auditorium functions as the main performance venue for Cal Performances, which has showcased students and visiting performing artists, such as the Mariinsky Ballet, Yo-Yo Ma, and the late Supreme Court Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg. Haas Pavilion is our next stop. Here we stand inside of the 12,000-seat Haas Pavilion, one of UC Berkeley's main athletic centers. UC Berkeley, or Cal, is a member of the Pac-12 Conference and houses 30 NCAA Division I-A sports teams, but Haas Pavilion is specifically home to basketball, gymnastics, and volleyball. Football and basketball games especially attract thousands of spectators from the community and beyond. On its own, Cal has earned a total of 207 Olympic medals, placing it at number 4 on universities with the most medals. Berkeley also offers dozens of club teams and an intramural program, which has 600 teams and over 8,000 students participating each year. The Speaker Aquatic Complex is one of 4 pool facilities at UC Berkeley. It sits within the recreational sports facility, the main gym on campus, with over 100,000 square feet of activity space. The gym has 3 weight rooms, 7 basketball courts, squash courts, treadmills, ellipticals, stairmasters, stationary bikes, and several fitness studios with yoga, Pilates, and cardio dance classes. The RSF contains an inclusive universal locker room with completely private changing rooms, showers, and toilets that serve members regardless of who they are or how they identify. Gym membership is included with tuition, and CalRec Sports' several satellite gyms make physical activity very accessible. There are several campus housing options available for students, with 96% of freshmen and 36% of transfers living in university housing. Room and board includes a standard meal plan, all internet, academic resources, daily custodial services, and resident assistants that protect security in the residence halls and organize events and activities. Freshmen typically live in units 1, 2, and 3, high-rise residential towers, or at Clark Kerr campus, Foothill, Stern, or Blackwell Hall. Each residence hall has close access to a dining hall, though students can choose to eat at any campus eatery at any time. These locations offer a wide range of rotating options with many vegan, vegetarian, kosher, and halal meals if students prefer them.
Alrighty, and that's the
Welcome
end.
to UC Berkeley.
That's the end of UC Berkeley. There is one question. I'm going to address that one question and then talk a little bit about other things. If there are no other questions, I'll share another campus tour. But once again, I appreciate any incoming questions. Okay, so there is a question by a student that asks, should I get one of my teachers to write a recommendation letter for me? If so, where should I submit the letter? Thank you. So I just wanted to ensure that you're asking for the UCs because UCs actually don't require any letter recommendations. So you won't be submitting any letter recommendations. If you're talking about a private school, then yes, you would need a teacher to write letter rec, but for the UCs, they don't require any letter rec, just like they don't require any of the SAT or ACT. Okay, another thing I wanted to know about campus tour, just going back to campus tours, is that on the UC application, it's not going to ask you whether you did a campus tour or anything like that. Well, on the common application in which you would use to apply to other schools that are non-UCs, they might actually ask you, how do you get to know about the college, right? Whether you actually receive any type of email correspondence from the college, whether you learn about the college from marketing websites or anything like that, whether you read a pamphlet, whether you did a college tour, okay? Whether you know anyone from the college, alumni, or someone that you know, a relative, for example. So they would ask you how you would know that school. But for a UC, on the UC application, is that they won't ask you any of those questions, because on the UC application, you can actually submit the same application to the 9 undergrad campuses. Okay, so in those essays that you're going to be writing for the UCs, the 4 essays that you're going to be writing for the UCs, you won't be talking about any particular UC campus, because you may be submitting all 4 UC essays to all 9 campuses. Okay, so you won't be singling out any specific UC in any of your essays. This is very different than a private school essay. Like, for example, USC, you're actually going to be talking about why you want to go to USC and why college, why major, that type of thing in your USC essay. So it's very different. UCs are very different than the other private schools, okay? Any other questions before I go ahead and actually introduce maybe UC San Diego?
I do have a question. So even though letters of recommendation aren't required, is it still better to have one from a teacher, even if I'm applying to a UC?
the thing is that they don't accept letter rec. So even you were to submit it, there's no, you can always submit it to the admissions office via the admissions email. But the thing is that UCs don't want letter rec. They won't view any letter rec. Can you imagine UCLA viewing letter recs from 130,000 applicants? It's practically impossible. That's one of the reasons why that UCs won't consider letter recs, is because they have so many applicants applying there. UCLA alone has like 139K, I think, this year. Which I think is just going to continue to increase every year by a little bit. There's no way they could evaluate, or they would even have the time to go look through letter recommendations. The only time is, once again, if you are applying to a major that require additional supplements. So additional supplements, meaning that, let's say, for example, if you're applying to the College of Creative Studies at UC Santa Barbara, for example, right, it may actually require a letter recommendation. If you're applying for a specialized major, like for example, nursing at UCLA, it might require a letter recommendation. So for specialized majors, you may need a letter recommendation, but that's something that you would know beforehand. That's not something that you would know only last minute. Why? Is because for a lot of juniors right now, for HS2, we're starting college research like way before. And even now, we're still continuing that college research. So when you are doing college research, letter recommendation is going to be one of the criteria that you're going to be researching. So for your major, whether if it's a normal major, most likely no for UC, but if it's a specialized major, you may or may not be required to submit additional supplements, which that additional supplement can be a letter of recommendation. It may be that, like for example, music might require a recording or a audition, right? So in a sense, it's something like that, yeah.
Thank you.
Sure. If no other question, we are gonna do another virtual tour. I don't know if you guys really want to do another virtual tour. Oops.
Geisel Library. At the end of Library Walk, you'll see our iconic Geisel Library. Functioning as UC San Diego's main library, this architecture masterpiece was designed by William Pieria and is named after Theodore Geisel, better known as Dr. Seuss. Geisel Library has 8 floors, more than 5.3 million volumes, and the largest collection of Dr. Seuss original drawings. It is also digitally connected to the UC library system, which contains more than 40 million books. Each of the library's 8 floors functions as a unique study environment. The higher the floor, the quieter it gets. Floors 1 and 2 are collaborative study spaces where students can work in groups, reserve large study rooms, and rent out whiteboards. Floor 1 is also home to the Teaching and Learning Commons, where students can go for supplemental instruction and tutoring. Floor 3 is completely outdoors and offers some amazing views of campus. Floors 4 through 7 are designed for quiet study, and floor 8 is completely quiet for those who prefer study in silence.
Okay, so as you guys can tell, we're gonna go through UC San Diego as well. It's another popular campus. I think UC San Diego is the second most applied to in the nation also as well, just after UCLA, okay? In the meanwhile, if you guys have any other questions, put it in the chat and I can pause anytime and address your question.
As we enter Warren Mall, the heart of the Warren College neighborhood, we look up 7 floors to see Fallen Star, a permanent sculpture in the Stewart Art Collection, which appears to have landed or crashed onto our Jacobs Hall Engineering building. The small home was built from scratch and is fully furnished with electricity and a beautiful garden outside. Tours are offered weekly.
Here's the Fallen home, if you guys didn't notice it, by the way.
EBU 2 is where you'll find the Mechanical and Aerospace Engineering Department. This building houses classrooms, research facilities, computer labs, and conference rooms. The giant rock sculpture in this courtyard is Bear, another piece of the Stewart Art Collection.
It was an engineering challenge, and now it's centered among 3 buildings that make up part of the Jacobs School of Engineering. Atkinson Hall is the home of the Qualcomm Institute, formerly the California Institute for Telecommunications and Information Technology. This is our very own research and development center for nanotechnology, photonics, biosciences, and cyberspace systems. Recreation facilities are all over campus. This is just one of them. Canyon View Center has a climbing wall for all skill levels, plus 2 Olympic-sized pools where our Triton swimming, diving, and water polo teams train. The rest of the time, the pools are open to the campus community. Our cross-disciplinary work comes to life every day in the Structural and Materials Engineering building. Enthusiastic students and award-winning faculty in the departments of Structural Engineering, Visual Arts, and Nanoengineering work side by side with medical device researchers from the UC San Diego Institute of Engineering and Medicine. Throughout the building, artists and scientists collaborate in classrooms, computer labs, and studios. Pepper Canyon Hall, one of the many lecture halls around campus, is located in the 6th College neighborhood. Here's the visual arts facility and performance space. Inside this courtyard are studios for graduate students. In the spring, all the MFA candidates hold open studios for the public. The Conrad Previs Music Center is home to musicians and engineering faculty and students who work together to create innovative new works. The center has computer music labs, rehearsal rooms, recording facilities, and performance spaces, including a 400-seat world-class acoustic concert hall. As you can see, we don't have busy streets going through campus. Most students walk, ride their bikes, or skate to class. City buses make stops on campus, and our shuttle buses run in continuous loops so you can quickly get to the other side of campus.
Town Square is located in University Center, adjacent to the Student Services Center and Matthews Quad. A variety of events take place here throughout the year, including a weekly farmers market every Tuesday and Hula Baloo, a school-wide music festival that takes place in the fall. Student Services is a one-stop shop for a variety of different resources, including the Office of Undergraduate and Graduate Admissions, the Registrar's Office, and the Financial Aid and Scholarships Office. Matthews Quad is where you'll find the Study Abroad Office, open to any student wanting to learn more about our exciting opportunities for studying abroad.
The Student Services Center is one of many green buildings constructed with recycled materials. You can handle most of your student business online, but sometimes you just need to stop by an office. Everything's right here, from financial aid to student business services, where you go for your ID card. The Raza Resource Centro and International Center are also housed here. The Centro is a lively space where students study, meet, write, get tutoring, and most importantly, are in community. The International Center hosts workshops and events to help students who are new to the area adjust to San Diego and the university. The I-Center, as it's called, it's also for any student who wants to study abroad. That's about 30% of our undergraduate students. Matthews Quad is a quiet spot most of the year, but it is also the site of some of our students' favorite events, like Hullabaloo, a fun addition to our annual Founders Day Festival with rides, games, and plenty of music, and Bear Garden, an event that takes place each quarter, including free food, drinks, games, music, prizes, and more. The Prize Center is the central spot for students, with 30,000 plus visitors every day. It is home to 15 restaurants, a market, campus bookstore, game room, study lounges, computer labs, conference rooms, theater, performing arts spaces, and a full-service salon, bank, and postal center. It also houses Associated Students, Center for Student Involvement, the Cross-Cultural Center, Intertribal Resource Center, and much more.
Library Walk. You've made it to Library Walk. Like its name suggests, this path connects UC San Diego's two main libraries. The central walkway between the Biomedical Library and Geisel Library is often filled with students making their way to class or simply enjoying the beautiful San Diego weather. Concrete blocks depicting the class years of our alumni line the edge of Library Walk. The light and dark gray blocks have power outlets and function as lights during the evenings. Library Walk is a great place for students to lounge, read, relax, or discover new student organizations who are tabling in the area.
Here at Price Center Plaza, you can hang out, study, eat, and enjoy music and dance performances. The theater offers $3 movies to students. At our bookstore, you will find a complete computer store, a newsstand, medical school store, supplies for your classes and residence hall, Triton Spirit gear, and textbooks, of course, for rent or for purchase. Also, on the first floor is Amazon at UC San Diego, a fully staffed delivery and return location for all your Amazon orders, featuring free same-day pickup on millions of items. Center Hall is one of the major classroom facilities on campus, with large lecture halls and smaller classrooms. 50% of the classes offered at UC San Diego have 50 students or less. The class sizes will depend on your major and your year. For some of the most popular majors, you'll be in big lectures for your lower division classes, with smaller discussion sections led by a graduate student. Upper division courses are taught in smaller seminars and discussions. Mandeville Center is filled with workspaces and art studios for the students from all 7 colleges. Some of the hallways are decorated with art in progress. Let's go through the lobby at Mandeville Auditorium, a presentation and performing space that hosts touring dance companies, visiting lectures, world music, and the Muir Musical Ensemble. Every year, students from all 7 colleges come together to design, direct, and perform in a musical play. Anyone can participate. The Student Center is located in the Muir College neighborhood. Here, you'll find the Black Resource Center and the Student Veterans Resource Center, just some of the places to relax, study, and connect. Also check out the Bike Shop, the Treehouse Computer Lounge, Triton TV Station and Studio, and the General Store. The Women's Center is a comfortable space to learn about gender, diversity, and family issues. Open to all students, this space has a wonderful community kitchen, library, and welcoming living room.
Main Gym. This is Main Gym. Contrary to what its name suggests, it is no longer the central gymnasium on campus, but there are still many recreational facilities offered here that students can enjoy. The gym itself has 2 full basketball courts, a gymnastics loft, a cardio and weightlifting section, and a natatorium. Just adjacent to Main Gym are sand volleyball courts, 6 outdoor basketball courts, a brand new artificial turf field, tennis courts, and outdoor park equipment. Main Gym itself was previously the home court for the NCAA basketball, volleyball, and fencing teams. The facility was also used as a workout center for the 1992 Olympic Dream Team.
This plaza is the heart of the Revelle College neighborhood. Around this plaza, you will find classrooms and labs. Galbraith Lecture Hall is located in Revelle Plaza. This building holds large classrooms and study and collaboration spaces. 64 Degrees is a beautiful dining commons featuring a market and food stations, featuring a burger lounge, deli, walk, tossed salads, and rotisserie specials.
Okay, I'm going to pause here for a little bit and then address one of the questions from a student. So the student is asking, generally speaking, would you recommend a UC or private school for someone who wants to major in biology? So I'm so glad you put in that specific item towards the end of your question, because there's so much to compare between a UC and a private school, and it really depends on what you're looking for in a school setting, right? So I guess for someone who wants to major in biology, and we're just talking mainly just from the perspective of your major, and not even saying or asking whether you want to even go into master's or research or even PhD eventually, or just for undergrad. So in terms of just the major, so typically the number one university for bio major or for our bio camp it's Harvard. Harvard is the number one for that. If you just look at rankings, and if you look in different type of rankings, usually Harvard will be in the top 5 for that. Next one is like MIT and Stanford. So those are the 3 pretty well-known schools for biology. And then with that, in comparison to the UCs, so UC Berkeley is actually ranked pretty up there in terms of biology. I think in undergrad in the US, I think it's ranked number 4 for biology. And then after that is actually UC San Diego. And I think the main reason why the UCs are actually ranked pretty like top 5 for some of them is because of the fact they have such a large facility and a lot of research resources as well. Not to say that Harvard, MIT, and Stanford don't have any. They definitely do. Otherwise, they wouldn't be ranked top 5 also too. But if you were to compare, once again, it's really hard to compare because I don't think biology will be the main indicator of why you would choose between any of these 5 schools, right? They're all amazing schools per se. I think the other factors will have to come into play when you are to decide between a private and a UC. Yeah.
Also,
Go ahead.
do private schools, it costs more, right?
Private schools typically cost more, but when you're talking about tuition, honestly, you have to look from a different perspective. I'm sure that, Alex, when you're compiling your college list, right? I'm not sure what grade level that you are, but when you are compiling your college list of the colleges that you want to apply to, I don't know whether in your college list, whether you'll be applying to out-of-state schools. Typically, in-state is cheaper for California students, but if you're applying to schools that are out of state, then you have to pay out-of-state tuition. And out-of-state tuition, regardless of whether it's public or private, are typically more expensive than our in-state public schools. In-state, I think for in-state student, for a UC, it's anywhere between like 30 to 40, and that's including dorms and meals. So it's between 30 to 40K. That's including dorm and meals, right? If you're not dorming and you're not, doing any type of meal plan at a UC, then typically tuition is like, I don't remember the full amount, but like I guess anywhere between 15 to 20K, yeah, for a year.
Oh,
okay. Yeah. So in-state is actually a lot more cost effective, I guess, if you were to compare in-state versus out of state. Yeah.
And then I just have one more question. So for like UC Davis, do they have like a lot of like lab equipment, right, for science?
I would say so. Once again, they're very large universities. I would say the UCs are some of the largest university out there, and they house a lot of STEM majors. So not just, biology and chemistry, anything like that, not just the sciences, but the engineering, the comm sci, data science, mathematics, and all that. So they do have a lot of resources dedicated to research in that aspect. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Okay, we have about 5 minutes left. So if anyone else have any other questions, please feel free to either write in the chat or, unmute yourself.
I do have a question. I don't know like a lot about like how colleges work. So is each like UC split up into like smaller sections for each like individual subject?
Yes. So you could treat it this way. many universities are in this format. Not to say all, but many universities are. UC such some of the universities that are like that. For example, each of the university will have different colleges. So different colleges will house a similar set of majors. Like say, for example, there will be a college of public policy, college of arts and music, that kind of thing. At most of the UCs, there's a general college that's typically called the College of Arts and Sciences or the College of Letters and Sciences. And in those college, it will house anywhere between 50 to 80% of the majors in that university. Okay, in the general college, the College of Letters and Science, for example, would have anywhere between STEM majors such as physics, biology, data science to like humanities majors such as English, history, psychology, and psychology, sociology, Asian studies. So it will house about anywhere between 50 to 80% of the majors in that university. But then they will also have specialized colleges that are for nursing or for engineering, for business, those type of group of majors, okay? So that's usually how a university will work. So the reason why in a virtual tour, you will sometimes hear them, oh, this building is mainly for like social sciences. This building is mainly for students that are majoring in biological sciences, that kind of thing, is because I think some of the UCs allocate their buildings for certain majors. There will be like a whole court in which, like at UCLA, there's a whole court where there's 2 large buildings actually dedicated to the sciences.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And then are each like college, are they like close to each other? They're pretty close, right?
They're all on the same campus. So typically, yes, they're all within walking distance. They're not like miles and miles apart. They are within walking distance. Yeah.
And then just like out of curiosity, if I were to graduate get into a college, if I switch majors, do I have to start from year 0 again and then do 4 years in that major to graduate?
So it really depends on when you decided to. So let's say, for example, you get into a UC and then you decided to change your major like during your 3rd year. Like you had no idea. You got admitted to a UC and you had no idea that you actually did not like the major that you selected. And then it's just only during the 3rd year that you decided to change your major completely. So once again, it depends on when you decide to change your major and whether the new major you want to change into is completely different than the original major that you had. So that will determine how much longer that you'll be spending in that university. Okay, why is because if you don't decide to change your major until your 3rd year, obviously, then you will need a little bit more time to finish the requirements for your major, but you might have taken a lot of general education courses. So general education, abbreviated as GE courses, are courses that you have to take in a UC in order to graduate with a diploma. You might have taken a lot of GE courses in the beginning 2 years, so you didn't really waste a lot of time because you had to take the GE courses, so you spent a lot of time doing that, so you didn't waste a lot of time. So you still have the remaining 2 years, your 3rd year and your 4th year, to truly take the classes that you need to take for the major that you change into. Okay, let's say, so even with the major that's completely different, I would say you still should be able to graduate within the time frame of 4 years, and if not, 5 years is okay too as well. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, no universities would say that, oh, you have to graduate within 4 years. Some students graduate within 3 years. Most students graduate within 4 years. Some students graduate in 5-6 years. So there's no per se limit to how many years you can spend in a university per se, but the longer you spend, the more money you have to pay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So any other question, Alex, I would recommend is to talk to your teacher, talk to your HS2 counselor. I feel like you're at the stage where you should be looking into more college tours and do more research on the colleges that you're interested in, so you can actually start compiling that list of college that you intend to apply to eventually, okay? At the same time, once again, I don't know what grade level that you are, but when you're doing college research, one of the things you look for is whether they have summer program opportunities. So summer program opportunities is another perfect way for you to get acquainted with that college campus, right? Because after COVID, a lot of things are now in person. So if you are able to go to that campus for a summer program, even better. And if that campus, once again, if that school is one of your interested school, once again, even better. Yeah. All righty. I'm gonna go ahead and end the seminar for today. I see. Okay, awesome. Any other questions? Once again, I highly recommend talk to your HS2 counselor. They have all the answers that you need. Okay. All righty. Thank you so much for spending your Friday with me. Have a good weekend.